Hello everyone and welcome into the Corn Crib at Normal, Illinois, where today your Washington Wild Things take on the Normal Cornbelters in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Hi everyone, I'm Zach Ziegler. You're listening to MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. The Wild Things victorious last night in Game 1, winning by the score of 4-1. We'll have a recap for you on that one. Also a sit-down with Grant Fink. Fink 2 for 3 last night with a home run, his first home run of the 2016 season. So we're going to talk to him about last night's game. Going to take a look at the lineups, the first pitch, and also take a look at the pitching matchup. It's all coming up for you right here on the MSA Sports Network and the Washington Wild Things pregame show. As we said last night, the Washington Wild Things won this game by a score of 4-1. They would get on the board first in the top of inning number 4. Austin Wolbrock would start things off with a single. Then 2 batters later, Ricky Rodriguez singled to give the Wild Things runners at first and third, 2 away. And Jimmy Yezzo came through with an RBI single to bring in the first run of the game and make it 1-0 Wild Things. The Wild Things would add another 2 runs in the top of inning number 5 as Alex McKeon started things with a ground out. Then Justin Fox walked, and 1 batter later, Austin Wolbrock reached on a throwing error by the shortstop. That gave the Wild Things runners at second and third with 2 away for Brian Harr. Harr would walk to load the bases, and Dave Popkins would come through with a 2 RBI double, scoring both Fox and Austin Wolbrock. Brian Harr would attempt to score on that play, but would be thrown out at the plate on a very nice throw by Nolan Meadows, and that ended the 5th inning. The Cornbelters got their one and only run in the 5th inning as Dylan Hopp started things out with a double. Then Elijah Trail would ground out, and Dylan Kelly hit an RBI single to bring in the first and only run of the ballgame for the Cornbelters. At that time, made the score 3-1. The Wild Things would get that run right back as in the top of inning number 6 after 2 outs as Ricky Rodriguez struck out and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out. Grant Fink would hit his first home run of the 2016 season, a solo shot into the right field over the right field wall. Alex McKeon would single, but Justin Fox would strike out, and that would end the top of inning number 6. Wild Things then led 4-1. For the Wild Things, a great start on the mound by Trevor Foss. Foss went the complete game, 9 innings, gave up 1 run, it was earned, on 6 hits, no walks, and 8 strikeouts, and he really dominated the entire game. His only rough inning was the 5th inning. Other than that, he was electric, facing 3 batters in the 9th, 8th, 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, or 3rd and 1st. So Foss really controlling these Normal Cornbelters. They come in, the Cornbelters, today at 4-12, currently sitting in last place in the in the West Division standings. The Wild Things sit in 3rd place in the East Division standings. We're going to take our first break here on the Wild Things pregame show on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we have a sit-down with left fielder Grant Fink, hit his first home run of the 2016 season last night, so be sure to stay tuned for that. We'd also like to remind you, this broadcast being brought to you by Consol Energy, Bethany College, and TruePar America. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network, listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, currently joined by Wild Things outfielder Grant Fink. And Grant, you got the first home run of 2016 out of the way. What's that like for you getting the first bomb?
Oh, it's fun, and coming in a good game where we get a W, it's fun to celebrate those and, just giving our team a chance to win a ball game.
You went 2 for 3 yesterday, the home run. You also singled in the game. How does that feel going 2 for 3 coming off? You've been doing well offensively lately in the past couple of games. How does it feel for you?
It feels really good. This game's just a game of adjustments, and being in this league for the first time, I knew it would take a little time to adjust to the pitching and adjust to just the whole feel. So I think our team's going to have a little bit of a run coming up here soon.
And getting the start you got from Trevor Foss last night, the complete game, only one run allowed. What's that do for you guys offensively and out in the field defensively?
He makes it easy. He works quick and he gets ahead of guys, so we just have to do our part, and it's fun for us to just be out there and do our own thing while he's up there doing his.
And you took the first game here in Normal against the Cornbelters, 2 more here in Normal. How does taking that first game in any series really help your confidence out there coming into Game 2 and Game 3 already being up 1?
Baseball's a game-winning series, and the more series you win, the more shot you have at doing something later in the year. So that gives a lot of confidence to us to come out here today and, try to get 2 in a row. It's all about the next game.
And we've also seen you in a number of facets this year. You've been a designated hitter. You've also played a little bit of third base, a little bit of left field. How do you balance managing the different roles that you have on this team?
Oh, it's been a blast. I've never played outfield before in my life, so learn to play outfield a little bit and, playing some third and doing some DH. It's fun to mix around and just get a feel of all parts of the game.
And finally, what's it like been playing with these guys? You've been through about a half a month of the season. What's it like playing with these teammates on the field?
This is a good squad. We have a good group of guys here. We mix well, so it should be fun moving forward the rest of the year.
Thanks, Grant. Good luck today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
We'll be right back here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show as we get you ready for Game 2 of 3 between your Washington Wild Things and the Normal Cornbelters. Wild Things winning last night's game 4-1. We'd like to thank Grant Fink for joining us here on the pregame show. Always fun to talk to these players pregame. This is a really good group of guys. They all get along. All the camaraderie on this team is very good, and this is a good squad. So be sure to come out and support your Washington Wild Things back home after this 3-game series as they start Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Consol Energy Park against the Evansville Otters. First pitch on Friday and Saturday at 7:05. First pitch on Sunday at 5:05. So come out, see these guys. It's a very good baseball team, very good time at Consol Energy Park. So we are finally through the month of May. We're in the month of June. It's June the 1st. So after the first month of the Frontier League season, we're going to see where these teams stand. Take a little look at the standings here on the East Division side where your Washington Wild Things play. This division is dominated by the Windy City Thunderbolts. Windy City currently 13-3, 8-2 in their last 10. The Wild Things will see the Thunderbolts in their next homestand. There will be a doubleheader Wednesday the 26th, or Wednesday, excuse me, not the 26th anymore. We're out of the month of May, as the Wild Things will see the Thunderbolts on June the 8th in a doubleheader, and that series will end on June the 9th. Game 3 will be played June the 9th. So the Windy City Thunderbolts sitting first at 13-3. Then the Lake Erie Crushers, who the Wild Things saw earlier in the year and split a 2-game series with, sit at 9-5. Currently a half game above your third place Wild Things. They sit at 9-6 due to the Washington Wild Things, 7-3 in their last 10 games. So the Wild Things been on a roll lately. Then the Joliet Slammers sit in fourth place at 8-9. Traverse City sits at 6-9. The Wild Things took 2 of 3 from Traverse earlier in the year. And then the Schaumburg Boomers round out the East Division. The Wild Things just took 2 of 3 from them. They sit at 5-11. Over on the West Division side, where these Normal Cornbelters play, the Evansville Otters lead things. They sit at 10-7. Then the River City Rascals in second. They are at 8-7. Southern Illinois also 8-7, tied for that second place spot. The Gateway Grizzlies sit in fourth. They sit at 9-8. The Florence Freedom in fifth at 5-10. And then the Normal Cornbelters round out this division at 4-12. So these two teams, different ends of the spectrum. The Wild Things, half game out of the second place spot in the East Division, and really rolling lately. However, these Normal Cornbelters have had a struggle of it here in 2016, sit at 4-12, and they're only 2-8 in their last 10 games. So Cornbelters looking to get back on track here. The Wild Things currently on a roll, 7-3 in their last 10 games, and Grant Fink, Dave Popkins, and Jimmy Yezzo getting it done yesterday, all driving in runs in that 4-1 victory over the Normal Cornbelters. Getting ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 3 going to be played tomorrow night, 7:35, here at the Corn Crib. That can also be heard on the MSA Sports Network. But first pitch for this one, coming up 7:35, the Normal Cornbelters just getting ready to take the field. We're going to take one more quick break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we get back, we'll have lineups, the pitching matchup, the first pitch, and also the national anthem. So keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series. We're almost ready as the Cornbelters are waiting for their starting pitcher, Mike Schweiss, to be ready to take the field. They're all huddled up by their first base dugout. And while we wait for them to take the field, we're going to look at the keys of the game for these Washington Wild Things. First key is feast on the bottom feeders. Right now, the Normal Cornbelters in last in the West Division standings at 4-12. And for the Wild Things, if you want to be successful, these are the teams you have to beat. So jump on them early. You took Game 1 of this series. It'd be very nice to take Game 2 here and have a chance for the sweep tomorrow night. They couldn't complete the sweep in Schaumburg. Schaumburg currently sits in last in the East Division at 5-11. They couldn't complete the sweep against the Boomers. So you'd like to come in here to Normal against a team that's really struggling right now and try to get the sweep. Key number 2, keep the starting pitching going. Connor Kendrick on the hill for your Washington Wild Things. A very good start for him against Lake Erie last time out. And also you got the complete game victory from Trevor Foss a night ago. So for Kendrick, just keep this line of starting pitching going. As Kendrick pitched pitched against Traverse City, not against Lake Erie. He pitched in Game 2 of the doubleheader, as Trevor Foss pitched in Game 1 of that series. Kendrick last time out went 6 innings, giving up 1 run, 1 earned on 1 hit, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So for Kendrick, hopefully he can keep that going. In the offense, they've really been turning it up lately. So for them, it's just keep the roll you've been on. Guys have been taking advantage of opportunities given to them and driving in runs on a consistent basis. So for the offense, just keep doing what you've been doing the last couple games, and you'll have a very good chance to win here tonight against the Normal Cornbelters. The Cornbelters just take the field, and we are about ready for the national anthem. So we are going to turn it down to the field for your national anthem. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whip Pill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters just about to get underway as the Cornbelters have taken the field. Going to take a look at them defensively today in the outfield left to right. It'll be Hopped, Fish, and Meadows. The left side of the infield held down by Peruki and Trail. The right side by Sharino and Dudley. And behind the plate will be Dylan Kelly catching Michael Schweiss. Schweiss enters the game with a record of 1-2, 2.75 ERA, making his 4th start of the 2016 season. He's gone 16 and a third innings, giving up 7 runs, 5 of which earned on 17 hits, 8 walks to 14 strikeouts. So Schweiss, again, a high strikeout guy. A lot of strikeouts on this normal Cornbelters team. 14 for Schweiss. And for the Wild Things, got to swing early and often, keep out of those 0-2 counts, and you should be good on the day. Going to take a look at the Washington Wild Things lineup sent out there by manager Greg Langben. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Jamal Austin. Batting second will be shortstop Austin Wobrock. In the 3-hole at third base, Brian Haar. Batting cleanup in right field, Dave Popkins. In the 5 spot, designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting 6th, playing first base tonight, Scott Carcasey. Batting 7th, left fielder Grant Fink. He joined us on the pregame show, hit a home run last night, and drove in a big insurance run for your Wild Things. Hitting 8th behind the plate, Alex McKeon. And batting 9th at second base will be John Zizniewski. Just about ready for baseball here at the Corn Crib. Blue skies, couple of clouds in the air, but not much to worry about here. A great day for baseball. Jamal Austin stepping in, and we are just about ready for baseball to begin here at the Corn Crib in Normal, Illinois. Jamal Austin enters today hitting .278, no home runs, and 3 RBIs for the Wild Things center fielder. Schweiss set, here's his first pitch, and it's a called strike. No balls and a strike to start out on Jamal Austin. That first pitch was thrown at 7:37 Eastern Time, and it's currently 70 degrees here in Normal, Illinois. First pitch time and temperature is brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot as Austin grounds at the short, and the throw on to first, that's out number 1. So Jamal Austin retired quickly, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock on the year, .241, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. Austin retired on 2 pitches. We saw it last night. The Wild Things were swinging early and often, and Austin there took the second pitch of the game and grounded out to shortstop. So Wobrock steps in to face Michael Schweiss. As we said, Schweiss 1-2, 2.75 ERA. He's set, here's the pitch. And Wobrock takes for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 on the Wild Things shortstop. Wobrock, a .241 hitter, 1 homer, 6 RBIs. And this pitch is low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good take there by Wobrock. That one in the dirt for Wobrock. And the rest of the Wild Things got to look for your pitch and hit it here. Schweiss, a lot of strikeouts. 14 strikeouts to 8 walks. The 1-1. And that one's fouled away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not quite the split that we saw from Chris Carmaine last night. Carmaine added 6 strikeouts to his ledger. He had 10 strikeouts to only 4 walks. The pitch, and Wobrock will foul this one off. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. So these Cornbelters know how to strike out batters, and their pitchers like to pound the strike zone. See if the Wild Things can feast on that today. Schweiss looking into Kelly, has his sign, the 1-2. And Wobrock takes this one. It bounces up to the plate. Count goes even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schweiss tried to get Wobrock to chase on a curveball. Wobrock would not oblige. Schweiss looking into Kelly, has his sign, the 2-2. And this one grounded to the left side foul, so Wobrock and Schweiss in quite a battle here. Wobrock 3 foul balls in this at-bat. Count sits at 2-2. For both Wobrock and Jamal Austin, the last batter, they've been doing a nice job out of the 1-2 spots, making opposing pitchers work. Wobrock doing it here, the 2-2. And a ground ball towards second base. Sharino gets it on the hop, throw to first, and that's out number 2. 4-3 on the putout, and the first 2 Wild Things are retired. That'll bring up the third baseman, Brian Haar. Haar on the year, .222, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs for the Wild Things third baseman. 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters. Wild Things winning last night's game by a score of 4-1. Schweiss set. Here's the pitch. Har, a big swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. Might have went outside of the zone for that one, as it was looked to be just off the outside corner. 0-1 here on Brian Har. Schweiss's kick and deal. And that one is a called strike on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Looked about where the same pitch that Schweiss threw the pitch before. 0-2 the count on Har. Schweiss's pitch. And a swing and a miss. Har strikes out. And that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the first. And after half an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing. Normal Cornbelters coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Bottom of the first, no score between your Washington Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters. Wild Things on the field, going to take a look at them defensively. In the outfield, left to right, Fink, Austin, and Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Har and Wobrock. Right side by Zizniewski and Carcasey. And behind the plate will be catcher Alex McKeon. On the mound for your Wild Things today, Connor Kendrick. Kendrick enters this game with a record of 0-1, a .690 ERA, making his 4th start of the year. He's gone 14 and a third innings, giving up 11 runs, 11 earned, on 14 hits, 8 strikeouts to 6 walks. Again, that .690 ERA. Kendrick, 2 rough starts to start the season, but last time out against Lake Erie only gave up 1 run in 6 innings of work and was very good. Excuse me, that was against the Traverse City Beach Bums. Game 2 of the doubleheader did not factor into the decision, as that was the walk-off winner for Ricky Rodriguez. So Kendrick back out there. Start number 4 on the year for Connor Kendrick. And now we're going to take a look at the lineup for the normal Cornbelters. They'll lead off with their designated hitter, Michael Scholar. Batting second behind the plate, Dylan Kelly. In the 3-hole at first base, Aaron Dudley. Batting fourth, third baseman Elijah Trail. In the 5-hole in left field, Dylan Hopp. Batting sixth at shortstop, R.J. Perucci. Batting seventh at second base, Santiago Chirino. In the 8-hole in right field, Nolan Mellows. And rounding out the order and in center field will be Mike Fish. Michael Scholar steps in to begin things here in the bottom of the first. Scholar enters .375, no home runs, and 1 RBI. So Connor Kendrick on the mound for the Wild Things. His first pitch. And that one bounces before it gets to the plate. No balls and a strike. Or one ball, no strikes. Kendrick, as he said, very good start last time out, looking to continue the streak of good starts the Wild Things have had. His pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike right off the inside corner. 1-1 the count. Last night we saw Foss be very effective, working the corners of the plate. We'll see if Kendrick mimics that in tonight's start. He's set to 1-1. And that ball's popped up. On the infield, Zizniewski going back to right, calling everyone off and making the catch. So there's 1 away here in the bottom of inning number 1, and that'll bring up the catcher, Dylan Kelly. Kelly hitting .380, no home runs, and 4 RBIs. Caught last night's game as he's back in there this evening. Connor Kendrick got the first out here in the bottom of the first on a pop out by Michael Scholar. And now he faces Kelly. Wild Things won game 1 of this series, 4-1 last night. Here's Kendrick's pitch. And that one is just inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here. Connor Kendrick on the mound. Lefty on lefty. Kendrick set the 1-0. And this one's chopped foul back to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Kelly leads this team in average with his .380. No home runs, 4 RBIs. Kendrick's 1-1. And Kelly fouls this one back to the screen. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a pretty sunny day here in Normal, Illinois. Not a lot of clouds in the sky. Wild Things in their road red jerseys with the white lettering. The normal Cornbelters in their white home jerseys, green lettering for them. No score, bottom of the first, 1 out. Wild Things and Cornbelters. Kendrick set. Here's the 1-2. And that one's fouled away over beyond the Wild Things dugout. So the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wild Things enter this game a half game behind the Lake Erie Crushers for second place in the East Division Frontier League standings. Wild Things sit at 9-6. The Crushers sit at 9-5. Kendrick's 1-2. And this one lined into center field. Austin's going to come in, but he won't get to it, and that's a 1-out single, and the Cornbelters have a base runner. Dylan Kelly continuing his hot start to the season, and the ball rolled to the wall as Jamal Austin couldn't make the play on it, and he'll make it to third on the play. Jamal Austin kind of botching it out in center field, so it'll be a hit and an error on Jamal Austin, getting Dylan Kelly all the way to third base now with 1 out. That ball fell right in front of Jamal Austin. He went to make the play, and he just couldn't handle it out in center field as it rolled all the way to the wall and allowed Dylan Kelly to reach third base. That'll bring up the first baseman, Aaron Dudley. After that miscue in the outfield, Dudley hitting .314, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. Was ejected from last night's ball game. Kendrick's pitch. And Dudley takes for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 the count. Dudley ejected for arguing balls and strikes a night ago. Kendrick set, and the 0-1. Dudley pops it up on the infield. Just what Kendrick wanted. Zizniewski camps under and makes the catch. That's out number 2. Stranding Dylan Kelly right at third base with 2 away. It'll bring up the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail, 188, no home runs, 1 RBI. Had a stint on the disabled list, was reinstated last night. Back playing in his second game off the DL. So Kendrick, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Dylan Kelly at third. He reached on a single and then a 2-base error by Jamal Austin in center field. Kendrick's pitch. And that one's high and outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count to Elijah Trail. Kendrick trying to strand Dylan Kelly at third base. Kendrick has his sign. And the 1-0. And Trail pops this one up in foul territory, but it will go back in the seats, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bottom first. From the Corn Crib in Normal, Illinois, Kendrick set, and the 1-1. And that one's high for a ball, 2 balls and a strike, just above the letters to Trail. Trail last year played for the Rockford Aviators. Now here a normal Cornbelter. Kendrick looks in. Here's the 2-1. And that one's low and inside. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. Count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Bottom of the first, 2 outs. For Trail, playing in his 7th game of the season. Played in 5 games before that DL stint. Kendrick set the 3-1. And Trail takes low for a ball, so a 2-out walk here has runners at first and third with 2 away. And that'll bring up the shortstop, R.J. Paruki, or Dylan Hopt, the left fielder. Hopt on the year, 281, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. He's the big bopper, leads this team in both home runs and RBIs, with 5 and 17 respectively. So Kendrick, 2 men on and 2 outs. Dylan Kelly at third. He reached on a single and then moved to third on a 2-base error. And then Elijah Trail, a 2-out walk from Connor Kendrick. Kendrick set, the pitch to Hopt. And Hopt takes inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the number 5 hitter in the Cornbelters lineup. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Cornbelters here in the bottom of the first. Kendrick set, checks Trail at first, And the pitch. And this one's foul tipped back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Connor Kendrick looking to get out of a first inning jam. Runners at first and third for the Cornbelters. Dylan Kelly over at third continued his hot season. He was hitting .380 coming into this game. Kendrick has his sign. And they'll throw over to first. And Trail is back. Kendrick looking for something going on there. Trail does have some speed at first base. Runners to the corners, 2 outs. Kendrick set. And the 1-1. And takes for a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Dylan Hopp didn't agree with it, as he's voicing his grievances to the home plate umpire. He'll take a walk. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Hopp stepping back in there now. Hopp, as we said, leads this team in both home runs and RBIs with 5 and 17. Kendrick set, checks first. And the 1-2. And that one bounces before the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, as he couldn't get Hopp to chase that curveball. Trevor Foss was getting a lot of chases last night on that pitch. A lot of guys out in front. Connor Kendrick couldn't get one here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Connor Kendrick on the mound. Runners at first and third for the Cornbelters. 2 away, no score between your Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters. Kendrick set. Checks first base, and the throw over there. And Trail is back. 2-2 the count. Here on Dylan Hopp of the normal Cornbelters. Kendrick has his sign. And he set the 2-2. And a called strike 3, and the inning is over as Dylan Hopp strikes out. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. And after 1, the score. Washington nothing, normal nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 2, and there's currently no score between your Washington Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters. Back in inning number 1, the Wild Things went 1-2-3. Jamal Austin would ground out, followed by an Austin Wobrock ground out, and then Brian Haar would strike out to end things in inning number 1. Due up for the Wild Things here in the second, Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Scott Carcasey, 4, 5, and 6. Against Michael Schweiss for the Wild Things. Schweiss in the first inning, pretty good. He had a long battle with Austin Wobrock as the count went to 2-2 before Wobrock would finally ground out. He threw 2 pitches to Jamal Austin and struck out Brian Haar on 3 pitches. So Schweiss back out there, getting ready to start the top of inning number 2. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 855-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Getting ready to start baseball here in the top of inning number 2 from the Corn Crib in Normal, Illinois. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Wild Things against Michael Schweiss. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm Zach Zill, taking you through the entire 2016 season. Here in Normal yesterday, the Wild Things took game 1 of this 3-game series, a 4-1 win over the normal Cornbelters, in which Grant Fink hit his first home run. Dave Popkins, the on-deck batter, a 2 RBI double, and Jimmy Yezzo also added an RBI single. So Popkins getting ready to step in to lead things off here in the top of the second for your Wild Things. And on the year for Popkins, currently leads this team in average, hitting .327, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs for the Wild Things right fielder, as he will face Michael Schweiss, and we get ready for the top of the second. Schweiss set. Here's the pitch. And Popkins takes for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Just started here in the top of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters. Schweiss is 0-1. And Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Popkins really turning it on lately, ever since the start of the first homestand of the year, the 1-1. Popkins checks his swing and takes low. Field umpire says he doesn't go. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Popkins started the year batting 5th, and really ever since the move to the cleanup spot, he's much improved offensively. Schweiss is 2-1. And that one's fouled away off to the right. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here from sunny Normal, Illinois. And Popkins steps back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Schweiss set. Here's the pitch. And this one grounded off to the right, so the count will remain 2 balls, 2 strikes. Popkins drove in 2 of his team's 4 runs in last night's ball game with that 2 RBI double in the 5th inning. So coming through on the offensive side. Schweiss looking into his catcher Kelly, has the sign and the pitch. And Popkins takes this one for a call at strike 3, and he will strike out to end the top of inning number 2. Popkins checking with the home plate umpire where that pitch was as he walks back to the dugout. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez, 194, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs on this 2016 season. We've seen him as both a designated hitter and a left fielder. Also played some third base. The pitch, and that's a called strike on Rodriguez. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Rodriguez, the designated hitter last night, back in there tonight, the 0-1. And this one grounded towards the middle. Slowly hit. A diving try by the shortstop, Baruki, but it gets through to center field for a base hit. The first hit of the day for the Washington Wild Things. Nets them a 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Scott Carcasey. Carcasey on the year, 107, no home runs, 2 RBIs. Was off last night. He's back in the lineup this evening. Runner at first for the Wild Things is Ricky Rodriguez. As Michael Schweiss looking in has his sign and the pitch to Carcasey. And he'll take outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Carcasey, the start at first base tonight. Normally the designated hitter. But tonight, playing the field. We have seen him at first base this season. Schweiss is set. And the 1-0 to Carcasey. And he takes this one low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to the Wild Things first baseman. Jimmy Yezzo played first last night. Had an RBI single. Schweiss will look in. He has his sign. And the 2-0. Carcasey pops this one up to foul territory. Giving chase and not getting to that one is Elijah Trail at third base. So 2 balls and a strike the count here to Carcasey. As he's in there tonight, had the night off last night. Ricky Rodriguez, the runner first, he reached on a single. As he stands over there. 2-1 the count to Scott Carcasey. Schweiss looks in. Has his sign from Kelly. Set, checks Rodriguez at first. And the 2-1 throw over. Rodriguez was going. They haven't picked off. Rodriguez going to get in a rundown. Peruki back to Dudley, and Dudley will tag Rodriguez out. And that is out number 2 here in the top of inning number 2. Inning number 2. Rodriguez was taken off on that pitch. He was going on first move, and they happen to catch him going at first base as they get the pick off. So now 2 outs here for your Wild Things in the top of the second for Scott Carcasey. 2-1 the count on him. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the normal Cornbelters. Schweiss set. Here's the 2-1. And that one grounded towards second. Chirino handles it on the hop throw to first. And that is out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left. And after 1.5, the score, Your Washington Wild Things nothing, Normal Cornbelters nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 2. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Normal Cornbelters. Kendrick last in the first inning got Michael Scholar to pop out to start things and allowed a single to Dylan Kelly, followed by a two-base error by center fielder Jamal Austin. That gave the Cornbelters a runner at third with one out. Aaron Dudley would pop out on the infield, followed by an Elijah Trail walk, and Dylan Hopp would be called out on strikes to end the first inning. Due up for the Cornbelters here in inning number 2, R.J. Perucci, Santiago Chirino, and Nolan Meadows. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Cornbelters. Kendrick out there for his second inning of work. Decent first inning, did face a lot of batters and had to throw some pitches, but got out of it unscathed, keeping the Cornbelters off the board. Don't forget about the Antonio Brown Softball Challenge, which will be contested at Consol Energy Park on June the 11th. Tickets for the event are available at the box office or online. For more information, give them a call at 866-456-WILD. So come out for that Antonio Brown Softball Challenge. As for that game, your Wild Things will be on the road. They'll be in Lake Erie on Saturday, June the 11th. And leading things off for the Cornbelters here in the second inning, R.J. Perucci, the shortstop. Perucci on the year, hitting .278, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. For the Cornbelters shortstop, here's Kendrick's pitch. And Perucci pops it up, but it'll go into the seats foul, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Cornbelters shortstop. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things taking game 1 by the score of 4-1 last night. Kendrick set, here's the 0-1. And that pitch is inside for a ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Kendrick trying to work low in the zone early on here against these Cornbelters. The 1-1. And that one is on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. And if you're Kendrick, you do want to work low in the zone. Not a very deep ballpark here in Normal. Only 318 down the line and right, 325 down the line and left. And that's a swing and a miss. Perucci strikes out, the second strikeout victim for Connor Kendrick, and there's one out here in the bottom of inning number 2. That'll bring up the second baseman, Santiago Chirino. Chirino on the year, hitting .196, no home runs, 4 RBIs for the Cornbelters second baseman. Played second base in last night's game, back there today. Has appeared in all 15 games for the Normal Cornbelters. Kendrick looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's high and outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 count for Kendrick so far. Doing a decent job of getting out in front of batters. Doesn't here on Chirino. That one's called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foss last night was out in front of almost everybody. Did not walk a batter. Had 8 strikeouts in the start yesterday. Kendrick looking in, has his sign. The 1-1. And Chirino grounds this one to third, but it'll go foul, so the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No score here in the bottom of inning number 2, 1 away. The lefty Connor Kendrick facing the right-handed batter Santiago Chirino. Kendrick looks in, has his sign. He's set, the 1-2. And this one hit the left field. Grant Fink can't find it in the sun, and it gets by him and rolls to the wall. Chirino around first, heading to second. Here comes the throw in, and Chirino will be in there with a double. Grant Fink losing that one in the sun. He had no idea where the ball was. Here in Normal, that sun sets right behind the first base stand, so it's right in the eyes of Grant Fink. Fink had no idea where that ball was, and as a result, Chirino on second with a double and 1 out. That'll bring up the right fielder, Nolan Meadows. Meadows, 250, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. On the year for the right fielder, had a couple of strong throws in last night's ball game. Kendrick set, checks Chirino at second. Here's the pitch. And this ball's popped up, foul territory. McKeon giving chase, he's camped under it. Now he moves and makes a sliding catch as the wind took that one away from him. But he hangs on, and that's out number 2. A nice catch by Alex McKeon, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Mike Fish. McKeon went back on that ball and initially was camped under it, but the wind here in Normal, Illinois, blowing out towards center field, brought that ball a good 2-3 inches back towards home plate. McKeon at the last second had to chase it, went into a slide, and made the catch. As that'll bring up Mike Fish, the center fielder. Fish on the year, 213, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Kendrick's pitch, and this one's popped up foul off to the right, and it'll go back into the stands. No balls and a strike to count the Fish. 0-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Normal Cornbelters. Santiago Chirino at second base. He doubled with 1 out. Kendrick set, checks him at second. And the pitch. And that one's way inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here. Connor Kendrick on the hill, making his 4th start of the season. Currently 0-1 with a 6.90 ERA. Kendrick set the 1-1. Swing and a miss on the pitch that was out of the zone and high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kendrick changing the eye level there of the batters. The first 2 pitches in that at bat were both low and on the corner. That one coming up above the letters. Kendrick has his sign. Checks Chirino at second. And the 1-2. And he'll step and turn back towards second. No throw as no one's covering the bag. So Kendrick looks back in. Chirino a decent-sized lead at second base with the 1 ball, 2 strike count. He's set. Here it is. And this one's fouled away back to the screen. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. From Normal, Illinois, a sunny day. A couple of clouds in the sky, but no rain in the forecast. Beautiful day for baseball here at the Corn Crib. Kendrick set, checks second, and the 1-2. And that one grounded towards the middle. That'll get into center field for a base hit. Chirino waved around third. He will score without a throw. And the Cornbelters take a 1-0 lead on the RBI single by Mike Fish here in inning number 2. Fish, a good 2-strike approach as he just took the ball and laced it back up the middle. And the Cornbelters score the first run of the game. It's 1-0. And that'll bring up Michael Scholar. Scholar on the day 0 for 1. In last night's contest, Scholar 1 for 4. He singled in the first and was caught stealing. So 1-0 Normal leads here in the bottom of the second. Fish takes his lead from first to pitch. And it's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Scholar, the designated hitter. 1-0 the count. That pitch, that last hit by Mike Fish, not hit very hard up the middle, but just enough to where nobody could get to it. Kendrick's 1-0. And that one's high and outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 the count. The lefty Kendrick on the hill. Bottom of the second. 1-0 Normal Cornbelters lead your Wild Things. Kendrick has his sign from McKeon. And the 2-0. And that one's high, ball 3. So after giving up the single, Kendrick has thrown 3 straight balls here to the next batter as he looks to get out of this inning. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Kendrick has his sign, checks first, the 3-0. And that one is in there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Kendrick threw that one right down the middle of the plate. A get-me-over fastball. He's looking to come through. 2 outs, runner at first, bottom second. The 3-1. And that pitch is in there as well on the inside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Count goes full. Dylan Kelly, the on-deck batter, if Scholar should reach. Mike Fish at first base. And time is called here behind the plate as Michael Scholar fixing his batting gloves. Bottom second, 2 outs, normal leads 1-0 over your Wild Things. Kendrick set, checks first, and the 3-2. And that's inside ball 4, so a 2-out walk here has runners at first and second with 2 away following the RBI single, and that'll bring up the catcher, Dylan Kelly. Kelly, 1-for-1, singled his last time. Got to third base, however, on an error by center fielder Jamal Austin. Kelly in last night's game, 1-for-3, drove in his team's only run. So Mike Fish at second following the RBI single. Michael Scholar at first after his walk. Alex McKeon stretching out something behind the plate, and he's back in there. So Kendrick looks into Kelly, lefty on lefty. Kendrick checks Fish at second. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Connor Kendrick, a good start last time out, giving up 1 run against the Traverse City Beach Bums in 6 innings of work. He checks second, the 1-0. And that one's inside as well, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Kendrick becoming a little wild here after giving up that RBI single to Mike Fish. Went 3-0 before walking Michael Scholar, and now 2-0 here on Dylan Kelly. Kendrick set the 2-0. And this one's fouled away. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Big swing there by Kelly, but just gets it back to the screen. Mike Fish at second, he hit an RBI single. Michael Scholar at first, he walked. So 2 on and 2 out as Kendrick looks into McKeon for his sign. He has it, he's set, and the 2-1. And this one hit foul down the left field line, rolling towards the Wild Things bullpen, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here. Dylan Kelly, the batter, leads this team in average with a .380. As Connor Kendrick looking in. Left-handed pitcher versus left-handed batter. A good matchup for Kendrick. See if he can retire him. Kendrick has his sign. Set. Checks Fish at second. And the pitch. And that one's low. Ball 3. Count goes full 3-2. Aaron Dudley would be next if Kelly can reach base. 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of inning number 2. Normal leads 1-0 over your Wild Things. Kendrick set. Here's the 3-2. Runners take off, and it's high for a ball, so the another 2-out walk, and the bases are full of Cornbelters here. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Aaron Dudley. Dudley 0-for-1, popped out to second his last time up. Dudley in last night's game 0-for-3, 3 strikeouts before being ejected. And Alex McKeon out to talk to his pitcher, Connor Kendrick. Kendrick standing in at 6'1", 185 from Sharpsburg, Georgia. Did pitch in the New York Yankees system. Made it to AAA last season. Currently on this season, 0-1, a 6.90 ERA. Bases currently full of Cornbelters here with 2 away. Kendrick looking in to McKeon. He has his sign. He's set. And the pitch home. Dudley takes high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Bases full of Cornbelters. Mike Fish at third. He singled. Michael Scholar at second. He walked. Dylan Kelly at first. He walked. Kendrick set the 1-0. And this ball hit the left field. Grant Fink a couple steps over, and he will camp under it to make the catch. Out number 3. So 1 run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. After 2, the score. Normal 1, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of inning number 3, your score currently sits normal 1, Washington nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, Dave Popkins started things out with a strikeout. Then Ricky Rodriguez would collect the first hit of the game for the Wild Things, a single, but he was caught stealing as he tried to take off for second on first move, was denied the steal as he was thrown out. Then Scott Carcasey grounded out to end the inning. Do up for the Wild Things here in the third inning. Grant Fink, Alex McKeon, and John Zizniewski. 7, 8, and 9 in the Wild Things order, facing Michael Schweiss. Schweiss, so far so good on the mound, has only given up that one hit to Ricky Rodriguez, and he was denied on the caught stealing. So the Wild Things look to get going offensively, down 1-0 to the normal Cornbelters. And if you haven't heard, country artist Chris Young will be in concert at Consol Energy Park on August the 25th. Tickets for that are available at Ticketmaster.com. Michael Schweiss, 2 strikeouts and no walks through his first 2 innings of work as he comes here in the top of inning number 3. And one thing we've seen again, these Cornbelter pitchers are known for it, Schweiss really pounding the strike zone. Only 8 walks on the season coming in to this start against the Wild Things, and 14 strikeouts. So Schweiss really throws a lot of strikes. And for the Wild Things, they're going to see a lot of pitches in the zone eventually. They're going to get a hold of them and start getting on base. Leading off for the Wild Things, the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink, after his 2-for-3 night last night, 229, 1 home run, 7 RBIs for the Wild Things left fielder. Fink, one of the Wild Things who's picking it up offensively. Himself and Jimmy Yezzo really bringing up their averages. The pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike to Fink. 0-1 the count. Fink picked up his first walk of the season last night as well with that first home run, the 0-1. And that one's a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Fink joined us on the pregame show today. I'd like to thank him for doing that for us. Schweiss set. Here's the 0-2. Checks his swing, but takes outside and low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on Grant Fink. Fink playing in his 12th game for the Wild Things, and a swing and a miss. Fink will strike out, the 3rd strikeout victim for Michael Schweiss, and there's 1 out here in the top of inning number 3. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon, since joining the Wild Things, 269, no home runs, no RBIs. As he was signed after Kyle Pollock went on the disabled list with the bicep injury. McKeon starting in this. And the first pitch is swung on and missed 0-1. This is 10th game for the Wild Things. No balls and a strike. McKeon, not a very good swing there as that pitch was in the left-handed batter's box, the 0-1. And McKeon takes strike 2 on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on the Wild Things catcher. Schweiss working quickly on the mound. He's set. Here's the 0-2. And that one's way outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Michael Schweiss doing good work on the mound so far here in the top of the 3rd. Normal Cornbelters lead 1-0 over your Washington Wild Things. Schweiss is 1-2. And a swing and a miss by McKeon as he loses his grip on his bat on that one as it goes towards third base, and that's out number 2. The 4th strikeout victim for Michael Schweiss, and that'll bring up the second baseman, John Zizniewski. Not a very good bat right there by McKeon at all. Swung at 2 pitches way out of the zone. And that brings up Zizniewski. For Zizniewski on the year, hitting 103, no home runs, 2 RBIs. Another guy's been picking up his average lately, was hitting 053 before this road trip. Now 103, the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 1 hit given up by Michael Schweiss. He's faced the minimum through 2 2/3. The 0-1. And this ball is fouled away back into the seats. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Zizniewski, the number 9 hitter in the Wild Things order. Had the night off last night as Justin Fox played second base. Schweiss set. Here's his 0-2. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good take there by Wisniewski. Schweiss changing the eye level. Schweiss is 1-2. And that one's outside. Count goes even. 2 balls, 2 strikes as Wisniewski fighting back in this at-bat. 2-2, 2 outs. Normal leads 1-0. Here in the bottom of inning number 2. Schweiss's pitch. And that one's outside as well. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jamal Austin would be next if Wisniewski can get on base here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's Schweiss's pitch. And Wisniewski takes outside for a ball. So a 2-out walk here gives the Wild Things their second base runner of the day. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin 0 for 1 so far, grounded out to short. Last night he was 1 for 5, excuse me, with a single and a stolen base. Austin's played in 14 games this year, has reached base in 12 of those games. Schweiss's pitch. And Austin will take this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Jamal Austin's been the leadoff man in all but 1 game for these Washington Wild Things. Andrew Heck gave him a night off against Schaumburg in Game 3 of that series. As Heck played center, Austin got the night off. Austin in there again today. Wisniewski at first base. He walked with 2 outs. Michael Schweiss looking into Kelly. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. There goes Wisniewski for second. The pitch is a called strike to throw. And it is in time to get Wisniewski caught stealing. And that is out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And after 2.5, the score. Normal 1, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of inning number 3. Your Wild Things currently down 1-0 to the normal Cornbelters. Connor Kendrick back out there for his 3rd inning of work. Last inning a little rough for Kendrick. He struck out the first batter. Then Santiago Chirino would double. 1 batter later after a pop-out by Nolan Meadows, Mike Fish came through with a 2-out RBI single to score Chirino and make the score 1-0. The bases would be loaded to end the inning as Michael Scholar and Dylan Kelly back-to-back 2-out walks. Then Aaron Dudley flew out to left field to end the threat. Due up for the Cornbelters here in the 3rd, Elijah Trail, Dylan Hopt, and R.J. Peruki, 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Wild Things. Clearview Federal Credit Union has branches in Canonsburg, McMurray, and all over southwestern Pennsylvania. Visit clearviewfcu.org to find one near you. Connor Kendrick out there, as we said, a little rough spot in inning number 2, but nice job of working out of it for him and only allowing the 1 run, limiting the damage on the base paths, as he will face 4, 5, and 6, Elijah Trail, Dylan, and R.J. Peruki here in the bottom inning number 3. Trail stepping in, and we are ready for baseball. Trail so far, no official at-bat yet. He walked his first time up. Trail yesterday was 2 for 3, his first game off a disabled list stint. His 7th game overall, as he played in 5 games before hitting the disabled list. So Kendrick set, and the pitch coming to Trail. And he takes it inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Cornbelter 3rd baseman. Kendrick set the 1-0. And this one hit the right field. Popkins a couple steps to his left, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. So quick start here to inning number 3 for Connor Kendrick, and that'll bring up the left fielder Dylan Hopt. Hopt today 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Yesterday's game, Hopt was 1 for 4. He doubled and scored the only run of the game for the Cornbelters. Cornbelters lead 1-0 here in the bottom of inning number 3 with 1 away. That run coming in last inning as Mike Fish hit an RBI single. As Kendrick looks into McKeon, he has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's low and inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Almost got him on the shoe tops. 1-0 the count. Hopped called out on strikes his last time. Kendrick's 1-0. And that one's high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Wild Things down by 1 here in the bottom of the third. Kendrick has his sign, the 2-0. This one grounded towards third base, and it'll go foul. Har attempted to get it, but he could not. 2-1 the count. That ball was fair all the way up to the third base bag. And once it hit the third base bag, it went to the foul territory and remained foul. So it's foul ball, 2 balls and a strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Here's Kendrick's pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count goes even. 2-2 the count. Connor Kendrick got the first out of this inning on 2 pitches as he got Elijah Trail to fly out to right field. The pitch, swing and a miss, and Hop strikes out again. That's the 3rd strikeout victim of the night for Connor Kendrick, and they're 2 away here in the bottom of inning number 3. It'll bring up the shortstop, R.J. Peruki. Peruki 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Last night's game, Peruki was 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a pop out. See what he can do here in the bottom of inning number 3. Kendrick set. Here's the pitch. And that one's a strike. No balls and a strike on Peruki. 0-1. First 2 men retired in this inning. Kendrick looking for his first 1-2-3 inning on the mound. Looks into McKeon. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Wild Things down 1 as Normal leads 1-0. Kendrick set. Here's the 0-1. Checks his swing, but it's high. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Kendrick facing R.J. Peruki. Peruki played third base last night. Here's Kendrick's pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. For Kendrick, trying to find his control here. He's been a little wild in this start, but has only given up the 1 run so far. His 3-1. And that one grounded to short. Wobrock, a tough hop off his glove. And Peruki will reach here. A really tough hop there for Austin Wobrock. Not quite sure what they're going to call it. We'll find out for you, but that'll bring up Santiago Chirino. Chirino on the day, 1 for 1. He doubled and scored a run. Doubled on that fly ball. He hit the left field that Grant Fink lost in the sun. So runner at first here. Peruki reached on the E6 officially. So an error on Wobrock, and this pitch hit the left field. Fink looking for it, going over and making a nice running catch. And that is out number 3. So no runs, no hits, 1 error in the inning, and a man left. And after 3, the score. Normal leads this one 1-0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands simple with expertise? We ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 4. Your Wild Things currently down 1-0. Mike Schweiss out there for his 4th inning of work. Faced 3 batters in the 3rd inning. Got Grant Fink and Alex McKeon to strike out to start things. Then John Cisnewski would walk and would be caught stealing to end the inning. So leading off this inning will be Jamal Austin, then Austin Wobrock and Brian Har. The top of the order, 1, 2, 3. And for your Wild Things, first time through the order, they really haven't been able to get anything going early on. 1, 2, 3 in the first. Did get a hit in the second inning, but Ricky Rodriguez was picked off of first base trying to steal second. Then in the third, again, 2 strikeouts to start things and a caught stealing for John Zesnewski. So second time through the order, we'll see if the Wild Things offense can do something against Mike Schweiss on the mound for the Cornbelters. Not a very big crowd here in Normal, about a quarter of the way full again. Didn't have a very big crowd last night. And it's showing again here tonight. So the 1, 2, 3 men due up for the Washington Wild Things. And hey fans, Washington County's got something for you. Indoors, outdoors, history, sports, gaming, shopping. This is the place for your next adventure. Brought to you by Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency. Visit them at visitwashingtoncountypa.com. Schweiss finishing up his warm-up tosses, and Jamal will step in to start things here in the top of inning number 4. The second time through the Wild Things lineup. If they can do something here, Jamal Austin is 0 for 1 with a ground out today. Yesterday, 1 for 5, a single and a stolen base. As he steps in to face Michael Schweiss. Schweiss looking in. Here's his first pitch in inning number 4. He kicks and deals. Austin showing bunt, but taking the pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. He did bat the start, with 2 outs in the top of the third, before John Zesnewski got picked off. Schweiss is 1-0. And that one's outside as well, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. No walks so far for Schweiss, but 4 strikeouts the first time through the Wild Things order. Schweiss is 2-0. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1 the count. Austin has reached in 12 of his 14 games, as that pitch is high for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. Austin's been doing a nice job setting the table in the leadoff spot. He has 7 steals on the year. So when he does get on base, he can run. Schweiss is 3-1. And this one hit the right field. Going over is Meadows, and this will fall into foul territory. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2, nobody out. Austin Wobrock, the on-deck batter. Jamal Austin, a full count here. Nobody out in the top of the 4th. Schweiss looking into the catcher, Kelly. Has his sign. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss by Jamal Austin, and he strikes out. The 5th strikeout victim for Michael Schweiss, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock today 0 for 1, grounded out to second base his last time. Yesterday's game, Wobrock 1 for 5, did reach base twice. He reached on an E6 and would score a run. He'll score 2 runs on the night. Schweiss looking in, the first pitch to Wobrock. And he takes it outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wobrock enters today, a .241 hitter in this Wild Things order. Schweiss is 1-0, and Wobrock pops this one into foul territory. Trail giving chase, but he's not going to get to it, as it'll fall near the Wild Things bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike the count on the Wild Things shortstop. There's 1 away here in the top of inning number 4. The Normal Cornbelters lead 1-0 from the Corn Crib here in Normal, Illinois. Austin Wobrock up with 1 out. And Schweiss looking into his catcher, Kelly. Has his sign, and the 1-1 kicks and deals. And Wobrock chops this one foul off to the right. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on the Wild Things shortstop. Wobrock in his 2nd year with the Washington Wild Things. Playing that shortstop role last year as well. Drove in 31 runs a year ago for the Wild Things. Was 2nd on the team behind Dave Popkins. So Schweiss back on the mound looking in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's set and the pitch. And Wobrock will take low and inside for a ball. Count goes even. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Schweiss set. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Wobrock, and he strikes out. The 6th strikeout victim by Michael Schweiss through 4 innings. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Brian Haar. Haar 0 for 1, he struck out. Yesterday's game, Haar was 0 for 3, did reach base on a walk, and was thrown out at the plate on that 2 RBI double by Dave Popkins in yesterday's ball game. So Schweiss really making quick work of these Wild Things. 6 strikeouts through 4 innings. The pitch to Haar. And Haar will take outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Wild Things down 1-0. Schweiss is 1-0. And this ball hit the right field. Meadows charging. Going out is Dudley from first base. And this one will fall foul. The count goes to 1-1. Just to the left of that foul line in right field. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Brian Haar. Haar, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs on the year. Leads the Wild Things in both categories. From that number 3 hole. Has played in all but 2 games this season. As he missed 2 games, dealing with a little bit of a leg injury. Did not go to the DL for it. But he's back in there. And has been doing well since his return to the disabled list. Very good series against Schaumburg to start on the road. He drove in 4 runs in the first game of that Schaumburg series and 2 runs the next night. Schweiss's pitch, and Haar takes outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here in the top of the 4th. 2 away, Wild Things down 1-0. As Schweiss has his sign, he looks in the 2-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count on Brian Haar. Haar looking to get something started with 2 outs here in the 4th. Schweiss has his sign in the 3-1. And Haar pops this one up. On the infield, Dudley camping under it behind first base, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 4th. And after 3.5, the score, Normal 1, Washington 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 4, and the Normal Cornbelters currently lead your Washington Wild Things by the score of 1-0. In the 3rd inning, Connor Kendrick got Elijah Trail to fly out to right field to start things, and Dylan Hotz would strike out. R.J. Peruki would reach base on an error by the shortstop Austin Wobrock. His ball was hit sharply to Wobrock, and it just rolled up his body and over into center field for the error. And Santiago Chirino would fly out to left to end the inning. Due up for the Cornbelters here in the 4th, Nolan Meadows, Mike Fish, and Michael Scholar, 8, 9, and 1. So far on the day for Kendrick, he's been decent, only gave up the 1 run, but he has been in trouble a lot. In the 1st inning, he had runners at 1st and 3rd with 2 away. Didn't allow anybody to score in that inning. After allowing a double to Chirino, he gave up an RBI single to Mike Fish. That was the only run of the game. He would load the bases in that inning and then get out of it. And last inning, pretty clean inning, got the first 2 out, had a man reach, but was able to retire the Cornbelters effectively. We'll see if he can continue that here in the 4th. Wild Things only down by 1, so still a lot of baseball left to be played and time to get back into this one. Coming up for the Cornbelters now, the right fielder Nolan Meadows. Meadows 0 for 1 today. He popped out to Alex McKeon behind the plate his last time up. And for Meadows in yesterday's ball game, 0 for 4. He did strike out. He also grounded out twice and flew out. So Meadows still looking for his first hit here in the series. Kendrick looking into his catcher McKeon has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. No runs and a hit and 2 errors for the Wild Things. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Cornbelters. Kendrick has his sign, the 1-0. Swing and a miss by Meadows. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Have seen a couple swings and misses from Kendrick. He has 3 strikeouts on the day. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks for the lefty. Kendrick set. Here's the 1-1. And that pitch is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Kendrick was a little wild in inning number 2. Went to 2 full counts. Walked both those batters in the second. The 1-2.
Hi,
And
this
that
is
one
Hines
low
Ward.
for a
If you're
ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Connor Kendrick on the mound. Kendrick set the 2-2. And this ball is popped up. Shallow center field. Jamal Austin coming in, calling everyone off. He'll make the catch. And that is out number 1. 1 away here in the top of it, in bottom of inning number 4. Cornbelters up 1-0, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Mike Fish. Fish 1 for 1, single and an RBI. So Kendrick has the first out here as he got Nolan Meadows to fly out to center field. Now facing Fish. Here's the pitch. And Fish, a line drive over the head of Brian Harr into left field, base hit. Fish's second hit of the day, a 1-out single, gives the Cornbelters a base runner, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Michael Scholar. Scholar 0 for 1. He walked in the second and popped out his first time. The Cornbelters a runner on. They're up by 1-0 the score here in the bottom of inning number 4 with 1 away. Connor Kendrick, the 3rd straight inning with a man on base, has had to work from the stretch quite a few times today. As Scholar stepping in after fixing his batting gloves. Kendrick has his sign, checks Fish at first, and the pitch Fish going. McKeon's throw down to second, not nearly in time. As Fish is in there with a stolen base. Runner in scoring position now for the Cornbelters with 1 away. And Michael Scholar at the plate. 1-0 Cornbelters lead. A very good jump by Mike Fish. He went before Kendrick even started his delivery. Kendrick looking into his catcher McKeon. He has his sign. He set, checks second. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Scholar. Count goes to 0-2. Scholar, the leadoff man tonight, as he was last night. Played shortstop last night. They're in the DH role tonight. 0-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Cornbelters have a runner at second base. That's Mike Fish after he singled and stole. The 0-2 from Kendrick. And this one grounded to short. Wobrock has it. He bobbles it, and throw to first is not going to be in time. So Scholar will reach first base. Wobrock thought about throwing to first there. Or to third base there, as Mike Fish was right in front of him. He decided not to throw to third. And then he kind of double clutched the ball as he was looking over towards first base. And another miscue defensively has Kendrick in trouble. As there's runners at first and third now with 1 away, and the Cornbelters up 1-0. And that will bring up Dylan Kelly. Kelly 1 for 1, single and a walk. Another error, that's an E6 on Wobrock, his second error of the day. Throw over to first. And Scholar back. 2 errors on Wobrock today. Has another runner on base. First and third with 1 out. Mike Fish standing at third. Michael Scholar at first. Wobrock thought about throwing to third, but decided against it. The pitch. And this one hit to right field. That's a base hit. Scholar will score. 2-0 Cornbelters. And they're going to hold the runner Scholar at third base. So it's 2-0 Cornbelters. Mike Fish scores. And your Wild Things now down 2. Kelly continues his good offensive start to the season. Laced that one into right field. And drives in the second run of the game for the Cornbelters. That'll bring up the first baseman, Aaron Dudley. Dudley today, 0 for 2. Popped out and flew out. Dudley was ejected from last night's game, but went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So again, runners are at first and third here with 1 away. 2-0 normal leads, and Kendrick's pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Cornbelters' first baseman. Looking for his first hit of the series. Kendrick looks in. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And this ball is popped foul into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Cornbelters lead 2-0 here in the bottom of inning number 4. Kendrick looking in. He has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1. And this ball lined to center field. Jamal Austin will be under it. He'll make the catch. Tagging and scoring from third base will be Michael Scholar. And the Cornbelters now take a 3-0 lead on the sac fly by Aaron Dudley. So with first and third, Jamal Austin not even attempting to throw out Michael Scholar at the plate. Cornbelters lead 3-0. And that will bring up the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail coming out with 2 outs and a runner at first. On the day, Trail 0 for 1. He's walked and flown out. The runner at first is Dylan Kelly. He had an RBI single in this inning. Kendrick set. Here's the pitch. And Trail to center field and deep. Austin going back to the track, and it's off the wall. Rounding third and heading to the plate is Dylan Kelly. Here's the throw, and it won't be in time. Another run comes in, an RBI double for Elijah Trail, and the Cornbelters now lead 4-0 here in the bottom of inning number 4. 3 runs. And the RBI double there by Trail. Trail gave it a ride to center field. Austin gave chase, but he wasn't able to get to it as it hit off the bottom of the wall and brings in another run for the Cornbelters. That'll bring up the left fielder, Dylan Hopt. Hopt on the day, 0 for 2, struck out twice. Leads this team in both home runs and RBIs. Kendrick has his sign from McKeon. Checks second to pitch. And that one's low in the dirt. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things down 4-0 to the normal Cornbelters here in the bottom of inning number 4 with 2 away. 3 runs in the inning already. An RBI single by Dylan Kelly drove in Mike Fish. A sac fly by Aaron Dudley drove in Michael Scholar. And an RBI double by Elijah Trail drove in Dylan Kelly. Kendrick set. Checks Trail at second. Here's the pitch. And this one's taken for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Bottom of the 4th. Cornbelters lead 4-0 over your Washington Wild Things. Kendrick looking in. Has his sign from McKeon. He's set. Checks second. And the pitch. And checks his swing, but it's low and outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Hopt. Hopt 2 strikeouts already. Once looking, once swinging. Kendrick set, checks second. And the 2-1. And that pitch is a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count even at 2-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Normal Cornbelters lead 4-0 over your Washington Wild Things. Kendrick looks into his catcher, McKeon, has his sign, and the 2-2. And this one grounded to third. Brian Harr will handle it on the hop, throw on to first, and that is out number 3. However, 3 runs come in the inning for the Cornbelters on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 4, the score. Normal Cornbelters 4, Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same old Penn Station East Coast subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Top of inning number 5. Your Wild Things currently down to the normal Cornbelters 4-0. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things, another 1-2-3 inning. Jamal Austin and Austin Wobrock both struck out before Brian Haar popped out behind first base to end the inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the 5th, 4-5-6. Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Scott Carcasey. On the mound, Mike Schweiss has faced the minimum through 4 innings, despite giving up just the one hit. He's also had 2 base runners, but has left the Wild Things off the board. Schweiss pitching very well. He has 6 strikeouts to 1 walk on the day, so very effective on the mound for the Cornbelters. Hey fans, you know you can receive $100 when you open a new checking account with Clearview Federal Credit Union. Visit them at clearviewfcu.org for more details. Top of the 5th, Wild Things down by the score of 4-0, and the right fielder Dave Popkins steps in looking to get things started here in the 5th. Wild Things haven't really got anything going offensively. We'll see if Popkins can bring the offense for him. Popkins 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Popkins in last night's game finished 1 for 4 with the 2 RBIs, drove in 2 of his team's 4. The pitch, and it's low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things right fielder. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things taking game 1 by the score of 4-1 last night. The pitch, and Popkins takes this one for a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things leading hitter, 327 Popkins average. The pitch, and this ball lined to right field down the line. That'll get down for a fair ball into the corner. Popkins around first. He's heading to second, and he will be in there. A leadoff double to start things here in the 5th, and your Wild Things are in business with a runner in scoring position. Their first runner in scoring position on the night here on their 2nd hit, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 1 for 1, singled in the 2nd inning. Rodriguez last night was 1 for 4 with a single in that game. So the Wild Things' first runner in scoring position, Dave Popkins, hits a double. Popkins' 6th double of the year. As his extra base hits have been up, and he leads the team in average. Rodriguez now batting in his 10th game from the disabled list, was reinstated on the homestand. Schweiss set, checks Popkins, the pitch. Ricky checks his swing, appeal to the field umpire, and it says he goes around. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things DH. Dave Popkins at second. He started things off with a double. So Ricky Rodriguez looks to drive him in. Schweiss looking in. He has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1 coming to Rodriguez. Rodriguez takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Dave Popkins stands at second. Wild Things down 4-0 here in the top of the 5th. With nobody out, looking to get on the board. Schweiss has his sign. Checks Popkins at second. And the 1-1. Rodriguez grounds this one off to the left and foul. Past manager Greg Langben down there at third base. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mike Marshall coaching first for your Washington Wild Things. The hitting coach, manager Greg Langben down there at third. Dave Popkins at second. He started this inning with a double. Schweiss looking into Rodriguez, the designated hitter tonight. Schweiss set, checks Popkins in the 1-2. And this one chopped right out in front of the mound. Rodriguez trying to beat it. He'll be tagged out by Schweiss. Meanwhile, Dave Popkins moves up to third base. So 1 unassisted, and that's out number 1 here in the 5th. That'll bring up the first baseman, Scott Carcasey. Carcasey 0 for 1. Had the night off last night. He's back in there tonight. Normally playing the designated hitter's role, but playing in the first base spot tonight as he looks for his first hit. Runner at third, 1 out for the Wild Things here in the top of the 5th. They're down 4-0 to the normal Cornbelters. As Schweiss looks in, he has his sign, checks Popkins at third. Here's the pitch. And Carcasey takes for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman. Dave Popkins stands at third. He doubled and moved over on the ground out by Rodriguez. Schweiss has his sign, looks in, and the 0-1. Carcasey takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Sunny day here in Normal, Illinois. The Corn Crib. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm Zach Ziegler. 1-1 the count to Scott Carcasey. Schweiss set the 1-1. And this one grounded towards the middle. That'll be a base hit for Carcasey. Popkins will score, and your Wild Things get on the board. It's now 4-1 on the RBI single by Carcasey, scoring Dave Popkins, who started this inning off with a double. It's Carcasey's 3rd RBI of the season. And your Wild Things get on the board here. That'll bring up Grant Fink, the left fielder. Fink 0 for 1, a strikeout today. Last night was 2 for 3, a home run and a single. He also walked in that game. 4-1 the score as Scott Carcasey delivers an RBI single. Schweiss set to pitch to Fink. Fink takes this one for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 4-1, Washington trying to chip away at this lead. Scott Carcasey stands at first. He delivered an RBI single. Schweiss set. Here's the 0-1. Outside for a ball. Snap throw to first. And Carcasey gets back in there. 1-1 the count here on Grant Fink. Fink joined us. Oh, no, it was a called strike, 0-2. I guess it hit the outside corner. Fink the batter. Fink joined us on the pregame show today. Had that first home run of the 2016 season last night. Schweiss set the 0-2. And a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Fink's retired, and they're now 2 away here in the 5th. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 1. He struck out. That's the 7th strikeout for Michael Schweiss in his 4 2/3 innings pitched. So Alex McKeon steps in. Scott Carcasey, the RBI single, drove in Dave Popkins and got your Wild Things on the board. Schweiss set to pitch to McKeon, and that one's a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Alex McKeon, the batter, with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. A run already in for the Wild Things, as McKeon looks to add another. Schweiss set the 0-1. And McKeon takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 away here from the Corn Crib. Wild Things down 4-1 as Normal leads in here in Normal, Illinois. Schweiss set the 1-1. And McKeon pops this one up behind the infield. Chirino calls everyone off. He'll make the catch, and that is out number 3. 1 run in the inning for the Wild Things on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 4.5, the score. Normal 4, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Bottom of the 5th, your Wild Things currently down 4-1. Connor Kendrick out there for his 5th inning of work. Roughed up back in the 4th as 3 runs came in for the Normal Cornbelters. With 1 out, Mike Fish would single and steal second base. Then Michael Scholar reached on an E6 that allowed Fish to move up to third before Dylan Kelly came through with an RBI single. That time made the score 2-0 Cornbelters. Then the very next batter, Aaron Dudley, a sacrifice fly that would score Scholar from third base made it 3-0, and Elijah Trail would come out with an RBI double following the sac fly, scoring Dylan Kelly and making the score 4-0. The score currently sits 4-1 as the Wild Things got a run back in the top of the fifth on the Scott Carcasey RBI single. And Kendrick out there now looking to keep this deficit right at 4-1 and get the Wild Things back to the bat racks. Hey fans, every Thursday night game during the 2016 season is Thirsty Thursday at Consol Energy Park, and it's all being brought to you by Frankie I's Bar and Grill located by the Meadows Casino on Route 19. Join them to enjoy food and drink specials after the game. And don't forget, Thursday's feature is Buck Beverages, both beer and soda, for just $1. Coming up for the Cornbelters here in this half inning, R.J. Perucci, Santiago Chirino, and Nolan Meadows. Perucci stepping in now, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He also reached base on an E6 in his last at-bat. Bottom of the fifth, Cornbelters lead 4-1. Kendrick's pitch, and the first one is popped up. Wisniewski going out, Popkins coming in, and he will call Wisniewski off and make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the bottom of inning number 5, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Santiago Chirino. Chirino 1 for 2, a double and a run scored. He's also flown out on the day. So Kendrick, a good start here to the bottom of the fifth after a rough fourth inning. 1 pitch, 1 out. As for him, the key right now, attack the strike zone. You want to get these guys to put the ball in play, have it hit to your defenders, and trust them to make the plays. The pitch, and this one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Chirino. Kendrick has his sign, the 1-0 pitch. And this ball lined towards center field. Austin coming on, and he will make a nice running catch. And that's out number 2. Very quick 2 outs here. Just what you wanted if you're Kendrick. 3 pitches and 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Nolan Meadows. Meadows 0 for 2. Popped out behind the plate and also flew out to center field. No action in the Wild Things bullpen, so for Kendrick, he's going to at least get to finish this inning. You'd like to see 7 from him tonight if you could. He's currently given up 4 runs in his first 4 2/3 innings. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Cornbelters lead your Wild Things 4-1. Kendrick set. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss by Meadows. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one up near the letters. Good fastball from Kendrick. We've seen Kendrick throw some nice pitches up in the zone and get some swings and misses. The troubles come when he's gone down towards the knees. Kendrick's 1-1. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Wild Things down 3 as the normal Cornbelters lead 4-1 over your Washington Wild Things. Kendrick set the 1-2. And it's a called strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Kendrick here in the fifth. Keeps the score right where it is. After 5 innings of play, the score, normal 4, Washington 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild. Got on the board as Dave Popkins would start things off with a double and a ground out by Ricky Rodriguez, moved him up to third base, and Scott Carcasey would deliver with an RBI single that would drive in Popkins and put the Wild Things on the board 4-1. Grant Fink would strike out and Alex McKeon would pop out to end the inning. 9-1 and 2 due up for your Wild Things from the Corn Crib. A decent-sized crowd here at Normal, about a quarter of the way full here at the Corn Crib. Not much of a crowd last night, a little bit more tonight as the fans coming out to support the Normal Cornbelters. Speaking of that, come out and support your Washington Wild Things. Consol Energy Park. They return home Friday night against the Evansville Otters. They play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday at 7:05. Sunday at 5:05. As they return back home. Then off days Monday and Tuesday before they play a doubleheader with Windy City on Wednesday and then finish that 3-game series on Thursday. Currently down 4-1 here in Game 2 of this 3-game series with the Normal Cornbelters looking to come back. They took Game 1 by the score of 4-1 yesterday. Grant Fink homering Dave Popkins had a 2 RBI double in that game, and Jimmy Yezzo had an RBI single to drive in the 4 for the Wild Things yesterday. Currently 4-1 Normal Cornbelters lead here in Game 2, and John Zizniewski steps in to lead things off here in the top of inning number 6. Zizniewski did not play last night as Justin Fox got his turn at second base. Here's Schweiss's first pitch. Zizniewski fouls it back to the screen. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Zizniewski and Fox have been splitting time at the position to start this 2016 season. We're into the month of June. Wild Things finished the month of May with a record of 9-6. Schweiss is 0-1. And this one chopped slowly to the left side. Schweiss off the mound to grab it. Throw to first. Is in time to retire Zizniewski. 1-3 on the putout. And there's one away here in the top of inning number 6. Your Wild Things entered the day a half game behind the second place Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things sit at 9-6. Lake Erie sits at 9-5. Both teams winning yesterday, so the Wild Things did not get a chance to move up in the standings. Jamal Austin will step in now with one away here in the top of inning number 6, and the Wild Things down by the score of 4-1. Austin leading things off here for one out up here, the leadoff man for the Wild Things. Here's the pitch, and that one's a called strike. No balls and a strike here on Jamal Austin. Austin struck out in the 4th, grounded out in the 1st. The next pitch, and that is a strike. No balls, 2 strikes, just on the outside corner. 0-2 the count on the Wild Things leadoff man. Schweiss set, and the pitch coming to Austin. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Jamal Austin out in center field tonight, starting his 14th game for the Wild Things. The 1-2. And this one is fouled away. Count sticks at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Jamal Austin. Wild Things center fielder. Cornbelters lead 4-1. Excuse me, Jamal Austin playing in his 15th game for the Wild Things. The home plate umpire comes out to talk to Michael Schweiss as they exchange a laugh. Dylan Kelly had that one fouled off his body, so the umpire giving him a minute. Jamal Austin batting, 1-2 the count, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Schweiss has his sign. He's set in the 1-2. And Austin checks his swing, and it's outside and low for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one bounced in the left-handed batter's box. 2-2, 1 out. Schweiss set. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Austin, and he strikes out. That is the 8th strikeout for Michael Schweiss through 5 2/3 innings. As he got this Wild Things team swinging a lot. Austin Wolbrock stepping up. Wolbrock 0 for 1. He struck out and grounded out in this one. Not much going for this Wild Things offense. Schweiss's pitch, and Wolbrock takes it for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. Normal Cornbelters lead 4-1. Schweiss set in the 1-0. Wolbrock a swing and a miss there. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1. Wolbrock fooled on that pitch below the knees as he went down to a knee swinging at it. Schweiss is 1-1. And another check swing by Wobrock, but this one low. Appeal to the field umpire, and they say he went. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Here in the top of inning number 6, Wild Things down 4-1. Schweiss looking in, has his sign, the 1-2. And that one's fouled away. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Austin Wobrock, the number 2 man in the Wild Things lineup. Currently 0 for 2 on the day. Schweiss looking in, he's set, and the 1-2. Wobrock takes low for a ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here. 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Wild Things down 4-1. Schweiss set, here's the 2-2. And this one grounded to first. Aaron Dudley has it, he'll flip to the pitcher covering, and that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things in the 6th. And after 5.5, the score. Normal 4, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the bottom of the 6th. Your Wild Things down by the score of 4-1. Last inning, a clean inning for Connor Kendrick. 1-2-3 as he got R.J. Perucci to fly out to right. Santiago Chirino flew out to center. And Nolan Meadows struck out to end the inning. Kendrick out there in the bottom of the 6th. Would like to get 7 from him. But there is currently action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. So hopefully Kendrick can get through the 6th inning. Due up to greet him here is Mike Fish, Michael Scholar, and Dylan Kelly. 9, 1, and 2 with the Cornbelters leading by the score of 4-1. Every Friday night's fireworks night at Consol Energy Park. Enjoy a spectacular fireworks display after all Friday night Wild Things home games this season. The next fireworks night for your Washington Wild Things this Friday, June 3rd. They'll be home to take on the Evansville Otters June 3rd through the 5th. A 3-game series, so come out to Consol Energy Park. Support Austin Wobrock, Brian Haar, Scott Carcasey, the rest of your Washington Wild Things. And leading things off for the Cornbelters here in the bottom of inning number 6, Mike Fish. Fish 2 for 2 today. 2 singles, a stolen base, and an RBI. He drove in the first run of the game for the normal Cornbelters. Cornbelters lead 4-1 here in the bottom of inning number 6 as Fish steps in. Connor Kendrick on the mound. Really his big downfall was inning number 4. He gave up 3 runs in that 4th inning, including back-to-back-to-back RBI hits. A line drive into left center for Fish, and he is on with his 3rd hit of the night. 3 singles here for Mike Fish, and the Cornbelters have a leadoff base runner. And despite all the runs that the Cornbelters have scored, that's the first time they have had the leadoff man on tonight here in the 6th inning. And that'll bring up Michael Scholar, the DH. Scholar 0 for 2. Has reached base twice, reached on a walk and an error. And he's also scored a run. So Mike Fish at first, his 3rd hit of the night. Kendrick throw over there. And Fish not much of a lead, so he's back. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner on first for the normal Cornbelters. Michael Scholar, the batter. Cornbelters lead 4-1. Kendrick, another throw over to first. Almost caught Fish leaning there. But Fish does get back in there. Kendrick, the lefty. So looking right at Mike Fish. Fish not taking much of a lead this time. Here's the pitch. Scholar bunting. A good bunt, as it'll do its job. Move the man up to second, and Scholar just thrown out at first base. He almost beat that one out. Sacrifice bunt there. 1-3. On the put out, and the Cornbelters have a runner at second here with 1 out, and that'll bring up the catcher Dylan Kelly. Kelly today 2 for 2, 2 singles and an RBI. He also walked in inning number 2. Alex McKeon going out to talk to his pitcher Connor Kendrick, and Kendrick so far has thrown 5 1/3, giving up 4 runs in the game. He's also given up 7 hits to these normal Cornbelters, so a bunch of hits given up by Kendrick. He does have 4 strikeouts on the night and has walked 3 in his 5 1/3 innings of work. So Dylan Kelly stepping in now as the meeting has concluded on the mound. And Kendrick looking in. Kendrick has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Runner at second here with 1 away as Mike Fish singled and then was moved over on the sac bump by Michael Scholar. Kendrick has his sign, checks Fish, and the 1-0. And checks his swing at the plate, but that's outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Wobrock playing very tight to the second base bag. John Zizniewski out in shallow right field. So the Wild Things in a little bit of a shift. Big hole on the left side for Dylan Kelly. As Kendrick set, checks Fish at second, the pitch. And this one's fouled off, back to the screen, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Normal Cornbelters lead 4-1 over your Washington Wild Things. Kendrick looking to get through 6 today. He does have action in the bullpen just in case. Kendrick set, and the 2-1. And that pitch is outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. Mike Fish, the runner at second. Kendrick has had to work from the stretch in all but the 5th inning. Working from it here, he has his sign, checks second, and the 3-1. And this ball is fouled away, back to the seats. Count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Aaron Dudley, the on-deck batter, the first baseman, with 1 out. Mike Fish stands at second base. He's singled and moved over on the sacrifice bunt. The lefty Connor Kendrick versus the left-handed batter Dylan Kelly. Kendrick looks into McKeon. Has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2. And that one's low for a ball. Ball 4. 1 out walk gives the Cornbelters runners at first and second here. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Aaron Dudley. Dudley 0 for 2 with a sac fly and an RBI. So 2 on and 1 out. Aaron Dudley stepping to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. Mike Fish at second base. He led off the inning with a single. And a sac bump by Michael Scholar moved him over. And a 1 out walk to Dylan Kelly gave the Cornbelters runners at first and second. Manager Greg Langbang coming to the mound. And we will have a pitching change. So we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whip Peel playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Bottom of the 6th, 1 out. Currently the normal Cornbelters lead 4-1. The new pitcher for the Washington Wild Things taking over, Colin Stanley. Stanley entering this his 6th game for the Wild Things. Has thrown 8 1/3 innings. Hasn't given up a run yet on 3 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Has currently no record. So Connor Kendrick's night is done. as he ends up going 5 1/3, giving up 4 runs, but he is responsible for the runners at first and second here with 1 away. So Stanley looking to keep them from scoring. On the final line on Colin Stanley. Stanley went 5 1/3, striking out 4, walking 3, and allowing 7 hits. 4 runs to this point. Given up, he is responsible for the 2 men on base. There have been a couple errors in this game that have really hurt the Wild Things. Austin Wobrock has committed 2 errors in this game, and Jamal Austin committed an error back in the first inning that allowed Dylan Kelly to go all the way to third. That error would not affect them. Neither would Wobrock's first error, but Wobrock's second error costing them big time. As after the Wobrock error, 3 more runs scored. So Aaron Dudley stepping in. Dudley today is 0 for 2 with a sac fly and an RBI. Stanley, the new pitcher, looking in. Here it is. And this pitch is popped up in foul territory. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Colin Stanley on the hill has been very good out of the Wild Things bullpen. The middle relief guy. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things down 4-1. Stanley looking into McKeon, has his sign. Checks Fish at second. And the 0-1. And Dudley checks his swing. Ball gets away from McKeon behind the plate, but McKeon able to get to it quickly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners stay right where they are. 1-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 6. Mike Fish standing at second. And Dylan Kelly at first. Fish reached on a single to start the inning. He was moved over on a sac bunt, and Dylan Kelly walked. Stanley set the 1-1. And that one's inside and low. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here. Bottom 6, 1 away. Wild Things down 4-1. Here from the Corn Crib in Normal, Illinois. Clear blue skies as the sun is setting. Stanley set. Here's the 2-1. And that one's on the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 out, bottom 6. Aaron Dudley, the batter, was ejected in yesterday's ball game for arguing balls and strikes. Back in there today. Stanley has his sign. Checks second, the 2-2. And a swing and a miss by Aaron Dudley. And he is out number 2. Stanley comes into the game, gets a strikeout here. Looking to strand these 2 runners on base, and that'll bring up Elijah Trail, the third baseman. Trail today, 1 for 2, a double. He also walked, and he drove in a run in that part of that 3-run 4th inning. 2 on, 2 outs here. Mike Fish at second, he singled. Dylan Kelly at first, he walked. Colin Stanley currently facing Elijah Trail, looking to keep those runners right where they are. Stanley's pitch. That's outside for a ball. Ball gets away from McKeon, so both runners will move up 90 feet. As that one's skipping off his glove. 1-0, wild pitch by Colin Stanley. Mike Fish now stands at third. Dylan Kelly stands at second. Colin Stanley, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, looking to get Elijah Trail out and keep this deficit at 4-1. Stanley's been good at that this year. See if he can get the job done here in the 6th. Stanley set. And the 1-0. And Trail pops it up. Foul territory behind the plate. McKeon didn't see it. And it will go foul. Count goes to 1-1. McKeon looked up, couldn't find the ball initially. He would have had room to make the play, but he did not see the ball, and the count goes to 1-1. Carcasey tried to give chase, but just not enough time for Carcasey to get there from first base. Colin Stanley, 1-1 the count here on Elijah Trail. Runners at second and third for the Cornbelters. They lead 4-1. Stanley's pitch. Checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, says the field umpire. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Elijah Trail shaking his head at that call. 1-2. Colin Stanley looking to get out of this one. Runners at second and third. 2 away, bottom 6. Stanley has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. And a called strike 3, and Stanley gets out of it, strands the 2 runners, and that will end the 6th. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. And after 6, the score, Normal 4, Washington 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here, top of inning number 7. Your Wild Things currently down 4-1 to the Normal Cornbelters. Last inning, just like a lot of these innings for the Wild Things, 1-2-3. John Cisnewski started things with a ground out. Jamal Austin struck out, and Austin Wobrock grounded out to end the top of the 6th. Michael Schweiss still out there. Schweiss has been fabulous on the mound for the Cornbelters, has given up 1 run in his 6 innings of work, has struck out 8 over the course of 6 innings, and the Wild Things really have just not been able to get anything going against him. Due up to try this inning, Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez, 3, 4, and 5. The Wild Things took game 1 of this 3-game series by the score of 4-1 last night, currently down 4-1. And game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:35, right here on the MSA Sports Network. Chase Cunningham takes the hill for your Wild Things against Max Homick of the Normal Cornbelters. So game 3 will be here on the MSA Sports Network tomorrow night, 7:35. All Sunday home games are Donation Sundays, brought to you by Goodwill. Fans are encouraged to bring gently used items to the park on Sundays and enter to win prizes courtesy of Goodwill. Also, when you come to Consol Energy Park on Sundays, be sure to bring your church bulletin, and you'll get $2 off your ticket price. So, a couple of good promotions on Sunday at Consol Energy Park. The next Goodwill Sunday will be this Sunday, as that will be the 3rd game of the 3-game series with the Evansville Otters at Consol Energy Park. And Brian Haar now stepping in to begin things here in the 7th. Haar 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop out on the day for the Wild Things third baseman. Haar with his 4 home runs, currently tied for 2nd in the league. The pitch, and that one's a called strike, no balls and a strike here to start the 7th. Haar tied with Craig Massoni, Josh Silver, and one other, as this one hit the left field. Nice backhanded stop at short by Peruki. The throw to first is in time to get Brian Haar. An impressive play by R.J. Peruki at short, and that is out number 1 here in the top of inning number 7. A backhanded stop by Peruki at short, turned through across his body, and just did get Brian Haar by a hair at first base, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins 1 for 2, a double and a run scored the only run of the game for the Wild Things. Schweiss set the pitch, and that one is a called strike on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things right fielder, Michael Schweiss looking in, and the 0-1. And that one lined hard, a diving try by Chirino. He knocks it down to the throw to first, and that's out number 2. A nice play by Chirino there. That ball was ticketed for center field. Chirino made a diving play. It bounced off his glove to the ground right in front of him, and he recovered in time to throw out Dave Popkins. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. Michael Schweiss, 6 2/3, 1 run given up. He's set. Here's the pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. One ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things DH, Ricky Rodriguez. He was in that designated hitter spot last night as well. Here's the 1-0, and that one's low and in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. That one hit the left-handed batter's box on the chalk line. As Michael Schweiss stepping back into the mound. 2-0. Ricky Rodriguez, the batter. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Normal Cornbelters. Schweiss set. Here's the 2-0. And that ball is a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, top of the 7th. 2 outs. Wild Things down 4-1. Here from the corn crib. Schweiss is 2-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. Ricky Rodriguez the batter. Game 2 of this 3-game series here at the corn crib. Wild Things down 4-1. Schweiss is 3-1. And this one's chopped foul towards the dugout. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, 2 away. Rodriguez in his 10th game off the disabled list. Was reinstated before the homestand against Lake Erie. Michael Schweiss looks into his catcher Kelly. Has his sign, the 3-2. And this one grounded to short. Peruki has it. He'll throw to first. And that is out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 7th. And after 6.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things down 4-1. We're going to take it to the 7th inning stretch here at the Corn Crib. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
Well, we're down here with the bachelor party. Let's meet the bachelor. What's your name?
Eli Dennehy.
And where are you from?
Macomb, Illinois.
And you're a music teacher, right? So we're in pretty good shape tonight at the Corn Crib?
You bet.
Okay, we're going to do it in a 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Belters. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
That's it.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here, bottom of inning number 7. Your Wild Things currently down 4-1. Colin Stanley back out there on the mound as he relieved starting pitcher Connor Kendrick in the last half inning and stranded 2 on base by striking out 2 batters to end the inning. Last inning for the Cornbelters, Mike Fish reached on a single, was moved over on a sacrifice bunt, then Dylan Kelly would walk, and Aaron Dudley and Elijah Trail would strike out to end the inning. Coming up for the Cornbelters here in the 7th, it'll be Dylan Hopt, RJ Peruki, and Santiago Chirino. 5, 6, and 7 due up. Hop stepping in. He's 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Stanley set. Here's the pitch. And it's a called strike. No balls and a strike here to Hop to start things in the 7th. Wild Things down 4-1 to the Normal Cornbelters. Stanley looking to McKeon. Has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Hop. A half-hearted swing there. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, Colin Stanley, 2 strikeouts to end the bottom of inning number 6. Stranded 2 men on base there. Stanley set in the 0-2. And this ball hit the right field. Popkins running in, and he will try and slide, and the ball will land fair just to the right of the chalk line. Hopped around second, heading to third. The throw in is a wild one, and Hopped will get in there. A lead-off triple. And the Cornbelters have a man in scoring position with nobody out. The second straight inning they've had the leadoff man on. And that'll bring up the shortstop, RJ Peruki. Peruki 0 for 3. Has reached base once on an error by Austin Wobrock. 3 errors in this game for your Washington Wild Things. 2 by Austin Wobrock. Giving up 4 runs. The Wild Things infield will come in. Scarcese, Zizniewski playing in on the grass. So are Wobrock. Har playing about even with the third base bag, holding Hopped on there. as Colin Stanley will face Peruki. Peruki 0 for 3. Here's Stanley's pitch, and it's called for a strike at the letters. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Stanley working out of trouble last inning, trying to work out of trouble again here in the bottom of inning number 7. Wild Things down 4-1. Stanley's pitch. This one low and outside. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Stanley looking in, coming out of the bullpen to relieve Connor Kendrick. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And this ball chopped towards short. Wobrock, a leaping play, throw to first. That's out number 1, and Dylan Hopp didn't move from third base. So a good job there by Colin Stanley. Not quite sure why Hopp didn't break for the plate. A bouncing ball is short. Could have scored easily as Wobrock had to jump up to make the play. But good for the Wild Things. Keeps a runner at third with 1 out, and that'll bring up Santiago Charino. Charino 1 for 3, a double and a run scored. Also flown out twice tonight. As the Cornbelters have a runner at third with 1 away. Stanley set, checks Hopp at third, and the pitch. That one's way outside. Nice stop behind the plate by McKeon. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here. Colin Stanley, the right-hander, versus Santiago Charino, the right-handed batter. Stanley looking in, has his sign, and the 1-0. And this ball grounded past the diving Brian Haar at third base. Hopp will score, and the Cornbelters now take a 5-1 lead. Charino into second with the RBI double. Charino's first run batted in today, another RBI, and the Cornbelters now lead 5-1 as Stanley cannot strand the guy at third this time after giving up the leadoff triple. That'll bring up the right fielder Nolan Meadows. Meadows 0 for 3 with a strikeout. The RBI single by double by Santiago Charino. Charino's second double of the day as he doubled back in the second. Meadows stepping in 0 for 3, 5-1. Normal leads your Washington Wild Things right now in the bottom of inning number 7. And Alex McKeon going to come out to have a quick chat with Colin Stanley on the mound. That's the first run of the year given up by Colin Stanley. Before that, he pitched 8 1/3 scoreless innings, giving up his first run here in Game 16 against the normal Cornbelters. So 5 scoreless appearances for Stanley before this one. Stanley has his sign. He's set, checks second, and the pitch. And this one grounded to first. Carcasey off his glove and into right field. Charino around third. He's going to score. And Meadows in there with an RBI double. Carcasey tried to make a sliding stop. It was off his glove and rolled down the right field line, allowing Charino to score. It's now 6-0 normal here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 runs in on 2 balls hit down the lines. Diving tries by both players. Carcasey almost got to that one, a sliding stop. That one was off his glove. And that'll bring up Mike Fish, the center fielder. Fish 3 for 3, 3 singles and an RBI. 6-1, Cornbelters lead, bottom 7, the pitch. Swing and a miss by Fish as this one's way outside. Oh, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here. Mike Fish, the batter. Fish, a 3-hit night already for him. And has a runner at second. That's Nolan Meadows. Stanley has his sign from McKeon. He's set, check second, the 0-1. And this one grounded back to the mound off the glove of Stanley. So that'll be a base hit for Mike Fish, his 4th hit of the night. Puts, runners at first and third with 1 away, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Michael Scholar. So 3 straight hits for the normal Cornbelters, and manager Greg Langben making the slow stroll to the mound. We'll see if we're going to a pitching change here or not. As he does make the stroll to the mound, Langben, an experienced Frontier League manager, as he managed for the Traverse City Beach Bums from 2008 to 2013, compiling a record of 267 and 212. He made Traverse City a contender for the East Division playoffs annually in his time with the Traverse City Beach Bums, including making the Frontier League Championship Series in 2010. He was named Manager of the Year for Traverse City in 2012. He helped the Beach Bums finish with their best mark ever, 64-32 in that 2012 season. And no Traverse City manager has won more games or coached more games for that organization than Langben did. He coached 6 Frontier League All-Stars in his time and received the Roger Hanners Manager of the Year award back in 2012. The meeting on the mound done, and Colin Stanley will face Michael Scholar, the DH. Scholar today is 0 for 2. He's also walked and had a sacrifice bunt. Runners at first and third here for the normal Cornbelters. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. 2 runs already in on RBI doubles by Santiago Chirino and Nolan Meadows. Meadows currently standing at third base. Mike Fish at first. His 4th hit. Fish 4 for 4, all 4 singles. And Scholar the batter. Stanley set. And here's the pitch. And this ball lined down the right field line, but foul. Almost a nice play made over there in the bullpen by the Cornbelters bullpen catcher. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, bottom of the 7th. Cornbelters lead 6-1 over your Washington Wild Things. As Colin Stanley, looking in, has his sign. Checks the man at first, and the 0-1. It checks his swing, and the home plate umpire says he went around. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here, bottom 7, 1 away. Runners at first and third. 2 runs in already in the inning, and 2 more men stand out on base. Six to 1, Cornbelters lead. Stanley set the 0-2. And a called strike 3. Scholar strikes out, and there are now 2 away here in the 7th. The 3rd strikeout victim for Colin Stanley on the night. He's thrown now a full inning. And so face Dylan Kelly. Came in with 2 outs with 1 out in the 6th. Excuse me, he's pitched 1 in the 3rd. And manager Greg Langbank coming to the mound again. And this time it will be for a pitching change. So we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. Wild Things currently down 6-1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Pitching change as the new pitcher into the game is Andrew Wick. Wick appearing in his 8th game for the Washington Wild Things. Has thrown 6 1/3 innings so far, giving up 6 runs, 4 earned on 1 hit, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Enters with a record of 1-0 and a .590 ERA. 2 saves on the year for Andrew Wick as well, as he started the year as the closer for the Washington Wild Things. And that was moved to a setup role and has really thrived in this setup role, as he hasn't given up a run since pitching in the 7th and 8th inning. And the first man to greet him here will be the catcher, Dylan Kelly. With 2 outs, Kelly today, 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 walks. As Wick entering, final line on Stanley, 1 1/3 pitch, 3 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hits, 2 runs to this point. He is responsible for the 2 men on base. Is Andrew Wick on the mound, the new pitcher for the Wild Things. Wick facing Kelly, righty on lefty. Wick set. Checks third in the pitch. And Kelly, a ground ball past the diving Carcasey. Wisniewski has it. Throw to first is in time to retire Kelly, and that will end the inning. 2 runs in the inning on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And after 7, the score, Normal 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Top of the 8th, your Wild Things currently down 6-1 to the Normal Cornbelters. Pitching change for the Cornbelters, now pitching Kevin Jeffress. Jeffress, appearing in his 9th game for the Cornbelters, has thrown 9 innings, giving up 7 runs, 5 earned, on 12 hits, 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts. His record sits at 1-0, and he currently has a 5 ERA. Final line on Mike Schweiss, the starting pitcher. 7 innings pitched, just gave up the 1 run. It was earned on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Due up to face Jeffress here in the 8th inning will be Scott Carcasey, Grant Fink, and Alex McKeon. 6, 7, and 8. Last inning for the Wild Things, another 1-2-3 inning by the starter Mike Schweiss. He got 3 ground outs. Brian Haar grounded out to short to start things, and a nice diving play by Santiago Chirino robbed Dave Popkins of a hit, and Ricky Rodriguez would finish things grounding out to the shortstop. So Kevin Jeffress, the new pitcher, 1-0, a 5 ERA. 9 innings of work, 7 runs, 5 earned. In this, his 9th appearance for the Normal Cornbelters. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:35 first pitch from the Corn Crib, as it'll be Chase Cunningham on the mound for your Washington Wild Things, opposed by Max Homick for the Normal Cornbelters. Getting ready to start things here in the top of the 8th as Scott Carcasey steps in. Carcasey, 1 for 2, drove in the lone run in the game with an RBI single back in the 5th, and he also grounded out in the 2nd. Carcasey playing first base tonight. Normally the DH for your Washington Wild Things. Jeffress looks in, has his sign, and the pitch. And that's inside to Carcasey for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things down 6-1 to the Normal Cornbelters here in the top of the 8th. Jeffress set the 1-0. And that one is a called strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Carcasey, the batter, playing first base in tonight's game. Infield playing, or defense playing pretty straight up for Normal. The 1-1. And that one grounded towards second base. Chirino on the backhand gets it, throw to first. And that's out number 1. 4-3 on the putout, and 1 away here in the top of inning number 8. That'll bring up the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink, 0 for 2, has struck out twice today, once swinging, once looking. Had the 2 for 3 game last night with a home run and the single. He also walked in last night's game. Tonight, a different story, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Jeffress set the pitch, and Fink fouls this one away off the home plate umpire. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count to Fink. We'd like to thank Fink for joining us on the pregame show today. 0-1 the count. 6-1. Normal leads this one here in the top of the 8th. The 0-1. And that pitch is on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 on the Wild Things left fielder. Andrew Wick came in the bottom of the 7th to retire the Cornbelters. The 1-0-2 is grounded to short. Charging is Peruki. His throw to first is in time, and that's out number 2. 6-3 on the putout. There are 2 away here in the 8th, and that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 2. He's struck out and he's popped out to second base. As the Wild Things looking to get something going here in the 8th. They've gone 1-2-3 in back-to-back innings in the 6th and 7th. They scored their first run, their only run in the game in the 5th. Dave Popkins started things off with a double, reached third on a ground out by Rodriguez, and Scott Carcasey would single to drive him in. Alex McKeon, the batter, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. The pitch, and that one's a called strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. McKeon doesn't like that one as he's voicing his displeasures. Here's Jeffers' pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 1-1. Wild Things down 6-1. Alex McKeon at the plate. 1-1, 2 away. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 2 outs here in the top of inning number 8. Wild Things down by 5. It's 6-1. Jeffers is 1-2. And that one's outside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Here on the Wild Things catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 2. Strikeout and a pop out. Jeffers looking in. He has his sign. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and McKeon strikes out. And the side is retired. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things in the 8th. And after 7.5 the score. Normal Cornbelters 6. Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of the 8th, your Wild Things currently down 6-1 to the normal Cornbelters. Andrew Wick came on to get the last out in the bottom of inning number 7. Will stay in the game as he got Dylan Kelly to ground out last inning. 2 runs came in for the Cornbelters as Dylan Hopp started things out with a triple. Then R.J. Peruki grounded out, keeping Hopped at third base. An RBI double by Santiago Chirino would score Hopped. Then next batter, Nolan Meadows' RBI double scored Chirino. That drove in the second and final run of the inning, making it 6-1. Mike Fish would also single his 4th hit. Then after a strikeout of Michael Scholar, Colin Stanley was pulled, and then Andrew Wick came in to get Dylan Kelly to ground out to second base. Due up for the Cornbelters here in the 8th, Aaron Dudley, Elijah Trail, and Dylan Hopt. So 3, 4, and 5 to face Andrew Wick. There'll be lots of giveaways at Consol Energy Park this summer. We're giving away beach towels, t-shirts, hats, and even an ugly sweater blanket. Check out the website for more details. Andrew Wick back in there. The Wild Things return home Friday night against the Evansville Otters. 7:05 first pitch from Consol Energy Park. June 3rd through the 5th. Then 2 off days on Monday and Tuesday. And Windy City will be in town June 8th and 9th. A doubleheader on June the 8th. And then the final game of that 3-game series being played on June the 9th. Throw down to second coming as Andrew Wick finishes his warm-up tosses. Bottom of the 8th, normal Cornbelters lead 6-1. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball from the Corn Crib. I'm Zach Ziegler. Game 2 of this 3-game series. The Wild Things won yesterday by a score of 4-1 and currently are losing 6-1. Aaron Dudley steps in. Dudley 0 for 4. He popped out in the first, flew out in the second, hit a sac fly in the 4th, and struck out in the 6th. So he's 0 for 3 on the day with an RBI. Wick looking in. He has his sign. And the pitch to Dudley. And he takes it for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. That pitch on the outside corner from Andrew Wick. Wick got the last out in inning number 7. He's on here in the 8th. He's set. and the 0-1. And that ball hit the left field. Grant Fink running to his right, and he'll make, no, he won't catch it. And that is a ground rule double for Aaron Dudley to start things out here in the 8th. Thought Fink had it for a minute, but it was just out of his reach as he leaped to try to make the catch, bounced on the warning track, and went over the wall for an RBI double. That'll bring up the third baseman, Elijah Trail. The leadoff man on for the third consecutive inning for the Normal Cornbelters. They lead this one 6-1 as Trail steps in. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard here tomorrow on the MSA Sports Network. 7:35 first pitch. Chase Cunningham taking the mound for your Wild Things for Game 3, being opposed by Max Homick for the Normal Cornbelters. Wick set. Here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things down 6-1. Aaron Dudley at second. He doubled to lead off the 8th. Wick set, checks Dudley at second, the 1-0. And this ball is popped into the seats. It'll go foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out. Andrew Wick pitching to Elijah Trail. Aaron Dudley started things with a double. Wick trying to keep the Cornbelters off the board. He's set, checks second, and the 1-1. And this ball is fouled back behind the stadium. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here in the bottom of inning number 8. Aaron Dudley stands on second base. He led things off with a double for the Cornbelters. Wick looking into McKeon. He has his sign. He's set, and the 1-2. And a swing and a foul tip into the glove of McKeon, so that'll be a strikeout. And there is 1 away here in the bottom of inning number 8. That'll bring up the left fielder, Dylan Hopt. Hopt, 1 for 4. He struck out in the first, struck out in the third, grounded out in the fourth, and tripled and scored in the 7th inning. So Hopt stepping in. Runner at second base for the Cornbelters with 1 out as Aaron Dudley started things off with a double here in the 8th. Andrew Wick on the mound for the Wild Things. He's set, checks Dudley at second, and the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here. Andrew Wick, the right-handed pitcher, facing Dylan Hopt, the right-handed batter. Wick looking into McKeon. And he still going through the signs. Hasn't found one he likes yet. And he'll step off. He wants to go through them again. 1-0 the count here on Dylan Hopt, the left fielder for the Cornbelters. Wick looking in, has his sign. He's set, checks Dudley at second, and the 1-0. And this ball, fly ball to left field. Fink going to his right, towards the track, towards the wall. Austin, a leap. And he made the catch. What a catch by Jamal Austin, robbing Dylan Hopt of a home run in left field. Hopt went all the way to the wall, made a leaping grab, and brings that one back in the yard. Dudley moves up to third. There's 2 outs. A great catch by Jamal Austin in center field, leaping and catching the. And that'll bring up the shortstop, R.J. Paruki. Paruki, 0 for 4. Struck out in the second, E6 in the third, flew out in the 5th, and grounded out in the 7th. The first pitch is called a strike to Paruki. No balls and a strike. But Jamal Austin, a long run on that last play as he leaped and robbed the home run over the left field wall. The 0-1. This ball popped up into foul territory. It'll go back into the seats. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Normal leads 6-1 here over your Washington Wild Things. Wick trying to keep the Cornbelters off the board. They have a runner at third with 2 outs. That's Aaron Dudley. He started things with a double in this inning. Wick set, the 0-2. And that pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. There's a great running catch by Jamal Austin to make that last out, robbing Dylan Hopt of a home run. It would have been his 6th home run of the year, but Austin jumping up and making a great catch. Wick set, and the 1-2. And this ball hit the center field. Drifting over to right, Popkins will come in, calls Wisniewski off, and will make the catch. That's out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 8, the score. Normal leads this one 6-1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of the 9th, your Wild Things currently down by the score of 6-1 to these Normal Cornbelters. Kevin Jeffress back on the mound for the Normal Cornbelters here in the 9th. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the 8th as he got Scott Carcasey to ground out the second, Grant Fink grounded out the short, and Alex McKeon struck out to end that inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the 9th, John Wisniewski, Jamal Austin, and Austin Wobrock. Wild Things Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:35, first pitch on the East Coast. Right here on the MSA Sports Network, Chase Cunningham taking the hill for your Washington Wild Things, taking on Max Homick for the Normal Cornbelters. Wild Things took Game 1 of this series by the score of 4-1 and are currently down 6-1 here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. We'll see if the Wild Things bats can get anything going as we're about ready for baseball here on the top of the 9th. John Wisniewski will step in. Wisniewski on the day, 0 for 1. He walked in the 3rd and grounded out in inning number 6. Coming up here in inning number 9 to lead things off. The 9-hitter in this Wild Things order. John Wisniewski came into the game hitting 103. So he's looking to get back offensively. The pitch. And Wisniewski takes for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things came into the game 9-6. A half game behind the Lake Erie Crushers for second, the 0-1. Wisniewski grounded to short. Picked there by Peruki. Throw over to first. And that's out number 1. 6-3 on the putout. And there's one away here in the 9th inning for your Wild Things. That'll wrap the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin 0 for 3. Grounded out in the 1st. Struck out in the 4th. And struck out in the 6th. As he comes out with 1 out, Kevin Jeffress in his 2nd inning of relief retired the first 4 Wild Things that he's faced. Jeffress has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this ball hit the right field and deep. Meadows going over to the foul line, and he will make the catch on the run. Nolan Meadows, a nice running catch, retires Austin for out number 2. A long running catch for Nolan Meadows. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. The last chance for your Washington Wild Things. Top of the 9th, 2 outs. Wild Things down 6-1. And Wobrock coming to the plate, their last chance. Nice running catch by Meadows, the pitch. And that's low in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, the count here to Wobrock. Jeffress has his sign, the 1-0. And this one foul tip. Back towards the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Game 3, as we said, can be heard here on the MSA Sports Network tomorrow night, 7:35 first pitch. Chase Cunningham taking on Max Homick. Jeffress set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Wobrock. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wobrock 0 for 3 today. Ground out in the 1st, strikeout in the 4th. Ground out in the 6th. Jeffress looking into his catcher, Kelly, has his sign. The 1-2. And outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wild Things down 6-1 here in the top of the 9th. Trying to look for some 2-out magic. Jeffress set the 2-2. Wobrock fouls this one away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cornbelters entered today with a record of 4-12. Your Wild Things entered today a record of 9-6. Wobrock batting, bases empty, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Wobrock strikes out, and this game is over. Final score, the Normal Cornbelters win this one 6-1. We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. The post-game show coming up. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score tonight, the Normal Cornbelters take Game 2 of this three-game series, 6-1. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things post-game show. The scoring summary now coming up. The first run of the game scored by the Cornbelters in the top of inning number 2. R.J. Perucci started things off with a strikeout. Then Santiago Chirino would double with one out. One batter later, Mike Fish would come through with an RBI single. That made the score 1-0 Cornbelters. The Cornbelters would load the bases in that inning as Michael Scholar and Dylan Kelly each walked before Aaron Dudley flew out to end the inning. Then with the score still sitting at 1-0, the bottom of the fourth inning was a rough inning for Connor Kendrick on the mound. Nolan Meadows flew out to start the inning. Then Mike Fish, his second of 4 hits on the night, a single. Then he stole second base. Michael Scholar reached on an error to have runners at first and third. Then Dylan Kelly delivered an RBI single. That made the score 2-0 Cornbelters. Then a sac fly by Aaron Dudley scored Scholar from third base. That made it 3-0. And an RBI double by Elijah Trail scored Kelly. And that made the score 4-0. In the fourth. The Wild Things would get a run in the fifth inning as Dave Popkins started things out with a double. A ground out moved him up to third, and Scott Carcasey came through with an RBI single. That made the score 4-1 at that point. Then 2 runs came in inning number 7 against Colin Stanley as Dylan Hopp started things out with a triple. One batter later, Santiago Chirino hit an RBI double that scored Hopp, and that made the score 5-1. And one batter later, Nolan Meadows, an RBI double, scored Chirino to make the score 6-1, and that was your final on the day. In the loss, your Washington Wild Things player of the game, we're going to give it to Andrew Wick. Wick finishing out the game, 1 1/3 innings, only giving up 1 hit, no runs, no earned, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Good work out of the bullpen for Andrew Wick as he made quick work of the Cornbelters in the bottom of the 7th, got the last out there, and then in the 8th inning, just allowing that 1 hit. So Andrew Wick's your player of the game. Final score in this one, Normal Cornbelters win it 6-1. The rubber match of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:35 first pitch, here from the Corn Crib in Normal, Illinois, as it'll be Chase Cunningham for your Washington Wild Things taking on Max Homick for the Normal Cornbelters. Final score in this one, Wild Things lose it 6-1 in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Tune in back again tomorrow night, 7:35 first pitch. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to the MSA Sports Network.